At the time of making this video, Remnant 2 has been out for about 6 weeks. Having sold over 1 million copies is actually doing very well on Steam, with the reviews being very positive. But we're not here to talk about those reviews. No, I wanted to see why people did not like this game. My friends and I skimmed through the almost 5,000 negative reviews to see what people had to say about Remnant 2. And while a lot of them are legitimate complaints about performance issues or just not liking the game, there were a bunch I found that are funny or wanted to go over in detail. So let's get into this. Game is too hard. You cannot solo this game at all. Waste of money. Now it is a Souls-like and difficulty is subjective, but saying you can't solo this is just untrue. I finished my first Apocalypse campaign playing solo. Not to mention you can definitely clear a campaign on these difficulties. 0 out of 10. Labyrinth Guardian boss fight ruined my progress in the game. The person who proposed that boss fight should be fired. Okay, that's kind of funny. Yeah, the Labyrinth boss fight is something else. We did this the first time in 3-player co-op and it took us like 45 minutes to clear this one. Is it the worst designed boss in this game? That's debatable. But is it one of the cheapest? Yeah, I could agree to that. So woke. Ugh, what does that even mean? Wait, this person has 173 hours in the game? I don't understand people sometimes. Alright, moving on. You breeze past hallways and then get stuck at a boss forever. Okay, this sounds like a typical Souls-like so far. At least this game has a crystal right outside the boss arena, so there's no run back. The game also feels empty. I have all these inventory slots, but hardly any inventory. Okay, so this person played for 9 hours and is just saying there isn't enough inventory in this game. Like the rings, weapons, etc. This game has like 180 rings and like, what, 50 weapons? I think maybe they just weren't exploring enough. If you explore the open parts of the map, you can find purples just lying on the ground. And every dungeon has at least one reward in it. Hard to say what they were doing with their time. Solid game, lots of unnecessary woke elements. Okay, another one of these complaints. Okay, this is the last one I'm going to bring up of this type, because why are you calling this game solid, and then leaving a negative review? And you only played like 90 minutes, what did you experience? The tutorial and like 2 dungeons in the campaign? You blank idiots with your blank puzzles. Okay, yeah, so some of the puzzles in this game will take you a minute. Remnant from the Ashes, I don't think had any puzzle elements to it, which could be why it's being met with hostility this time around. 2 that immediately come to mind is the Ring of Omens puzzle room, because that took us like 30 minutes of reading books and trying levers to figure out what they wanted, which is a little long for a game like this. The other is the water music puzzle. Well, I mean, once you figure it out, it's not that bad, but yeah, it does slow down the gameplay experience, so I get it. An amazing sequel to my favorite game of all time. Okay, why is this negative then? But having Remnant 1 with a trait option of 700 plus options and Remnant 2 giving us a cap of 60, well, it's 65 now, I'm going to give it a thumbs down. So Remnant 1 actually had a trait cap of 1,000. There was 50 traits and 20 levels in each. Remnant 2 has 30 traits with 10 levels in each. So I actually don't mind this change. I hit level like 650 in the first one and I was fine with that. There's a lot of just weird and bad traits like Climber, which only increases your vault over obstacle speed. But more importantly, Remnant 2 is actually making you design a character with your gear and limited trait points. In the first game, you could just equip everything at once. But now there's more thought out strategies like, do I want extra damage range? Do I want more AoE in my weapons? And it took away the near endless grinding aspect of it. I get all the traits that matter to me in the first one, so I'd argue this is a good change. I don't get all the praise for this game. It's just an exercise in futility. Fight the boss a million times until you memorize his attacks, rinse and repeat. You're describing every Souls-like ever, but go on. The in-between is decent, and the character builds are a bit fun, but they take so long to level up it's just tedious. Yeah, leveling up classes is a bit slow in this game, I'd agree. Maybe this just isn't the genre for me. Okay, this is a great point. Souls-likes aren't for everyone. Some people might like the challenge of learning a boss attacks patterns and learning when to dodge and how. I don't really care for survival crafting games, and that's okay. You know, this shouldn't have to appeal to everyone, and I think the author of this review might just not like this type of genre. Remove the checkbox that tells you have unspent trait points, so my friends don't bully me. Yeah, no, I feel this one. There should be an option to dismiss this message. That happened to me when I was doing my first playthrough and I didn't have a trait that I wanted to level, so I was just waiting on it. Not sure it needs a negative review, so you know. This is a good game, but they put the main quest line behind puzzle walls. I am not a cheater or a very smart person, so I'm stuck at the Forbidden Grove. Stuck on this one puzzle longer than I was stuck on anything in Elden Ring. Okay, yeah, so this is talking about the water puzzle we mentioned earlier. This person doesn't want to look up the answer and is struggling to figure it out on their own. I mean, that's a fair way to play games. But this is a required puzzle to progress and not in a side dungeon. I hope this person eventually made it past this, or at least re-rolled and got the Ravager. MFer asked me to play checkers and started playing chess. Okay, that's funny. He's talking about the Postulant Parlor event. It's like Connect 3 and checkers had a baby. I mean, this is kind of funny. Got killed by several rolling hedgehogs. Same, bro. Same. It doesn't have hold to sprint, so you have to toggle sprint. Makes it unplayable, in my opinion. So I actually had to check on this one, and while it's true, I don't know that it bothers me enough, even if it was reversed the other way around. This person has 0.1 hours and quit for that reason. That's kind of unfortunate. This game has a lot to offer. As a veteran Dark Souls player, this game is unfair and too difficult. Now, I'm also a veteran Dark Souls player. I platinum Elden Ring and Sekiro, and I don't think this game is too difficult. Especially if you're going to make the claim that you're a veteran Dark Souls player. I would go as far as to say I don't think any of this game is unfair either. All the boss moves are clear and telegraphed attacks. If something isn't working in your build, maybe you have to change that. Just like other Souls-likes, you could have a bad selection of rings, didn't upgrade your guns, or any number of things. As for the difficulty, turn it down, my man. Unlike other Souls-likes, this one has 4 different difficulties. You don't have to play an Apocalypse if you don't enjoy it. Okay, this is a big one. They didn't playtest veteran difficulty. You go up 1 level of difficulty in this game, and every single flaw reams your no lock on. Thank God the boss just jumped behind me into an arena-wide AoE that just one-shots you. Every move either does 75% of your HP or just flat-out kills you. Every boss takes 30 minutes to kill, making the boss have 1,000,000 blank health. And then they're just complaining about the difficulty. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack here. So they're saying that veteran difficulty is too hard and everything is 1 to 2-shotting you. My brother in Christ, you made the build. If you're having trouble surviving, add more trait points into survivability. Wear heavier armor, so you have more damage negation. Pick a different class. There's tons of ways to survive in Remnant, and I don't think this person tried anything. They're also saying that the bosses take half an hour to kill, so maybe your weapon is the issue. Okay, it looks like they mentioned they were using the crossbow. Maybe that's it. I mean, sure, you can one-shot a trash mob, but that doesn't necessarily mean a weapon is just good based off of that. Oh man, I'm getting flashbacks to my tier list video. Terrible game, save your money, there's literally no point to the game. You just wander around and kill things, no explanation, no purpose, no point. Story is empty and provides no incentive to care or even take interest in the situation. I wish game companies would go back to the days when games told with good story, good backstories, and character development. No quest log, no explanation of items you pick up or their purpose. Even on the lowest difficulty, you still blow through 30 to 40 rounds to kill trash mobs. Okay, so they're saying there's no point to the game, there's no story. Did they either not play the first game or just skip over every single line of dialogue to shoot things faster? Now, as far as Soul-like stories goes, this is pretty on par for the course. There aren't a ton of cutscenes and most of the story is given through NPC dialogue. While there is no quest log, yeah, it does say your objective on the right side of the screen at all times. You just kind of have to pay attention to what it means when you get the quest. And there is no way you're using 30 to 40 bullets on Survivor to kill 1 trash mob. That's just over-exaggerated. The game itself is fine. Great upgrade to the original. But I'm giving it a no for one simple reason. Stop forcing tutorials down my throat. I just want to start playing with my friends. I already played the first game and your tutorial taught me literally nothing. It just wasted my time and pissed me off. So this person is having a meltdown because the tutorial is unskippable, and he wants to play with his friends right away. So the tutorial he's complaining about is like 10 to 15 minutes long and is skippable on every other character you create. And then this person went on to play for another 59 hours with no other complaints to mention, so it just seems a little extreme. Okay, wow, so that was a lot of nonsense and just a few good points. If you have one thing you could change about Remnant 2 in an upcoming patch, what would you change? Let me know in the comments. Alright, that's going to do it for today's video. Subscribe if you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.